Chapter 4 concluded with Jesus' second sign, which was performed on Jesus' second visit to Cana. He healed the son of a royal official who was on the brink of death. In verse 48, Jesus expresses some exasperation at the request for healing. Then Jesus said to him, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." It might seem oddly callous of Jesus to overlook the man's request, but as always, Jesus sees deeper. Jesus has indeed come to reveal his glory through signs, but he is really looking for an altogether different quality of response: faith. The man begs him again and declares that if only Jesus will come down with him, his son will live. This demonstrates a certain level of conviction. Jesus' presence will certainly save his boy. But Jesus can do better than that. He essentially responds, "I don't even need to be there." And he tells the man to go home, as his boy will live. John records that the man believed his word and left. After finding out that the boy began to recover exactly when Jesus had told him he would, whatever belief he had at this point is now complete. He and his whole household believe. As this second sign follows on from Jesus' successful ministry in Samaria, it is interesting that this official could be a pagan. If so, it shows the gospel spreading from the Jews to Samaritans and then to the Gentiles. Following this, and now in chapter 5, Jesus returns south again to Jerusalem. This is his second visit, and again it is for a festival, this time unspecified. As the last mentioned festival was Passover, this one could be Pentecost, or it might be the last of the 3 tabernacles. John normally makes it very clear which festival is occurring, but here he gives us no clues, so it is obviously not relevant. The thing he does want us to know is that it is a Sabbath, as this episode is the first time the Pharisees decide to kill Jesus. In the previous sign, the official begs Jesus to heal. Here, Jesus initiates the healing. The official had some belief in Jesus, which grew into a full commitment, but this man shows no sign of belief at the point of healing or afterwards, when Jesus later warns him to stop sinning. Jesus is still willing to heal and restore, despite our inadequacies or continuing lack of belief. This man in chapter 5 is also contrasted with the similar healing in chapter 9 of the man born blind. Both have been affected either all or most of their lives. In both cases, there is a pool involved. Both episodes discuss the matter of the relationship between sin and sickness, but the first man shows no faith and happily reports Jesus to the authorities, whereas the second man happily confesses Jesus under pressure to the authorities and gladly credits Jesus for his restoration, even though he is expelled from the synagogue. This is also another instance of Jesus' sufficiency. He supplied the wine in chapter 2, and in chapter 4 supplied the living water. His presence was not required to save the boy, but only his command. Here the healing pool is obviated, as Jesus merely instructs the man to stand up and carry his mat. This is the occasion for the controversy. The Jews find him carrying the mat on the Sabbath and ask him why. The man replies that the one who healed him told him to carry it. Their response is telling. What man? Instead of being amazed at this healing, they concentrate on the violation. Jesus' initial response is that his Father is working even on the Sabbath, which of course only exists because God rested from creation. Because the Father is working, so Jesus works. The Jews are not slow to pick up on the implication. They want to kill him because not only does he break the Sabbath, but he does so because he believes he is equal to the Father. Jesus then gives them a long explanation. He makes numerous statements, but undergirding them all is the relationship between him and his Father. There are 2 complete negatives. The first is that the Son does nothing but what he sees the Father doing. The second is that the Father judges no one, but entrusts judgment entirely to the Son. They are in total accord, so that they may be equally honoured. In one respect, they share a particular prerogative. Just as the Father gives life to whom he wishes, so too the Son. We have just seen the Son preventing the boy from dying, and we will see later Jesus raising Lazarus, before finally being raised himself. The giving of life and the executing of judgment belong to the Son, as granted by the Father. Jesus' speech turns to the importance of testimony. Jesus has been testified to by John the Baptist, but even though he was a burning and shining lamp, yet Jesus accepted this testimony only as a concession for the humans. The real testimony is the deeds he does, the works of the Father. Furthermore, and with this Jesus concludes, the scriptures themselves, which they prize so highly, testify to Jesus. They think that Moses condemns Jesus for working on the Sabbath, but in fact Moses testifies about Jesus, and so he will be their judge. Eternal life is not in the scriptures, but in Jesus himself. Their problem, as Jesus identifies it, is not knowledge, but belief. They don't even believe in their hero Moses. If they did, they would recognize Jesus. As what is flesh cannot receive what is spirit, how will they, having stopped up their ears to Moses, be able to hear Jesus?